Welcome to another episode of the Toronto Citizen in Conversation with. Dear viewers, this is a video series we have planned where we talk to people, individuals whose name are coming up in our conversations in recent time for various reasons. Probably they're business leaders, political leaders, so on and so forth. Today we are here to meet an individual, a young woman who has challenged the barriers, who has decided to rise above all the challenges and actually go for a public office, and therefore we've been talking about her a lot recently. Her name is Dolly Begum. She's running for the MPP position from Scarborough Southwest, and today we are here at her office on 2279 Kingston Road to have a quick conversation with her. Let's go to the office and have a conversation. Well, thank you very much for giving us some time this morning, Dolly. I know it's a very busy time of your week.
Thank you very much for coming to our campaign office. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, we have heard a lot about your campaign, and we couldn't just resist but come here and have a conversation. You're busy, so we'll be very quick with our questions. First thing is, how's the campaign going?
It's going really well. We've got a really good team. They're working very hard, as you saw in the other room. And we're getting more and more volunteers coming in. They're very enthusiastic, and obviously they're working day and night now. We've got, I think, 20 more days left, so we're very excited.
Well, just 20 or 19 days left, and I could tell that you guys are really busy because I see a lot of signs when we were driving here. One thing which really I want to ask you is, politics to many of us, the general people, is the way we see it is a few months of making all the nice promises, and then the next 4 or 5 years you just come up with excuses why those promises cannot be fulfilled. Why did you decide to join politics?
I think that mentality comes from what happened in the last 2 decades. We've seen a lot of promises and not much done, which is why people are feeling that way. I know from the conversations that I'm having at the doors, people are frustrated, people are tired, and sometimes, in canvassing, one of the rules we have is don't spend that long at a door, but sometimes I spend a little bit of time because I get those people who are very frustrated, who are tired of listening to those promises and had their hopes up and then let down. And we had governments after governments who didn't keep those promises. We had 15 years of the Liberal government, and they didn't keep up with their promises. So I can understand where you're coming from, and I think that's one of the reasons why I decided to step into this political arena, was because I felt frustrated too.
Now, all the parties, when we listen to their promises, election manifestos, as some of us call it, it's filled with promises for healthcare, how you take care of seniors, pharmacare, all those things. But you tell me, what are the key areas that makes you passionate about this, or you feel connected?
There are so many different issues that I'm very concerned about. But I think my number one priority that I've mentioned to many people is already is childcare. And also child poverty in this riding specifically is something that I want to address specifically. If I get into Queen's Park, I want to make sure that we address that child poverty we're facing in the Oak Ridge region, for example, which is about 56%. It's the highest in the entire province. And I also want to make sure that our children that are, the future of this province have the best care possible. So we have a really good child care program, and I'm really proud of that. But another concern that I have is our seniors. We want to make sure that we have the best care possible for the people who, gave so much to this economy, and they deserve the respect and the dignity. And right now, they're not being treated with the best care, and I want to make sure that we have the long-term care that they need.
Now, we are a group of people who work very closely with the younger generation, the youth of the community. And that's why probably one of the key concerns that we have, and we want to take your view on that one, is the student debt. What promise would you make that should make us feel that, okay, you know what, this is our candidate and we should go for her?
Well, I don't know if you looked at our platform, but if you go to dalibegum.ca, click on platform, you'll see our plan, all our platforms, but also our plan for student debt. We want to turn them into grants and make sure that students don't end up with a lot of debt. You're talking to someone who still has her OSAP debt. And it's a burden. You know, you finish your university degree and then while you're trying to find jobs, which is very difficult to find in this economy, you also have this burden of your debt that you have to pay off. And that's not something we should have our young generation, we should have the people who are the foundation of this province be burdened with. So we have a really good plan to fix that as well.
So your plan is to convert the student debt into grants?
Yes.
Okay, that is very exciting to know.
As well as pay the interest back to those who are paying interest right now on their OSAP. We want to make sure that we give back because government should not be making money out of students. They're not cash cows.
I totally agree with that, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers would agree too. I was in one of your rallies or your events, and I heard you mentioning auto insurance, which is another concern for a lot of people in our neighborhoods. Can you tell us a little bit about your plan for the auto insurance?
Well, we've got a really good plan to make sure that we end discrimination for auto insurance. So right now, this riding, Scarborough Southwest, has one of the higher auto insurance rates than other places in the province. And that's because of discrimination. So it's discrimination based on postal codes. So based on your postal code, the insurance company decides how high the insurance rate is. And that's not fair. It shouldn't be based on the type of people that live in the riding and the type of, the postal code that you have. So we want to make sure that it's based on your driving record rather than, where you are located. If you're located in Scarborough Southwest, you should be fairly treated. So that's our plan.
Right. Now, a few moments ago, you mentioned about your personal experience with student debt, which many of us we can relate to. I would like to know a little bit more about you as an individual and your connections and your commitments towards the promises that you're making. So why should, and the reason why I'm asking this is we have talked to a few other politicians, and it is so common that everyone is full of promises, full of commitments. But I want to learn, I want to know that why should I feel comfortable with the fact that yes, this is one individual who will actually feel my pain and who will actually deliver on the promises?
Well, Rizwan, it took me about 8-9 months to decide, for nomination, because you probably know the work that I've done in the past as a community person, as an activist, as a volunteer working at Woods Community Center. I've seen the struggle that people in Scarborough Southwest face. Also, someone who grew up in this riding, I have lived those struggles as well. And people are really tired. People are going through a lot, and it's not like it's not like anyone is giving them anything for free. People are working hard for it. Day and night, they're working really hard, but they're not getting the service that they need. And it's about time we do something about it. And for me, you'll see that I have a track record of helping people, of volunteering, making sure that things get done without asking for anything in return. I have done work before I even thought about politics. But when I realized that it's about time we replace a government that has been making promises and not doing much, and also people need representation. So I decided that I can be the voice of the people. I can make sure that the struggles that people are facing in Scarborough Southwest is heard at Queen's Park. And that's my motive. I want to make sure that I listen to the people here, I become the employee of the people here, and I take those concerns to Queen's Park. And not be the person who just makes the policies without listening to what's happening, without really seeing what's happening on the ground. And as someone who's lived the struggles, I'm confident that I will know how these people are feeling. I will be that person who is that voice, who is the person who listens to those individuals in this riding as well.
It's nice that we're moving towards a direction that I really had in my mind. Let's say we like the promises, we like the commitments, and we are convinced that you have the right commitment towards delivering those. But let's step away from the policy. Let's talk about the execution of it. How do you, as an individual, if elected, how do you plan, or what's in your mind to actually reach out to people and serve people? Because you mentioned that you consider yourself as an employee of the people, less of a leader, more of a representative in one of your events. So tell us, what's your plan to actually make those promises or listen to people?
So, I got nominated on January 27th. Since then, I've been knocking on doors because I know that, our campaign, for example, doesn't have the money or that the resources that the conservatives or the liberals, for example, have to reach out to the people. So what I started doing was doing what I could do, is going to doors. I've knocked on thousands and thousands of doors already because I wanted to make sure that I talk to people, I listen to them. And on our flyer, unlike other flyers, you'll notice that we have our phone number, we have our email addresses, we have our Facebook page, we have our website, because we want it to be as accessible to people. So my number one thing is to make sure that if elected, I will be the same way accessible to people. My doors will be open all the time to make sure that I'm there, and we will have weekly or monthly scheduled time where I'm accessible to the people so they can come to me or I can go to them and meet the people to make sure that I'm listening to them. Because that's what a representative means. That's what a representative does, is to be the voice of the people by listening to them.
Well, that's very exciting to know, because I'm sure many of us, we imagined of having a day when we know that we can walk into the representative's office when he or she is actually available to listen to us, to have a chat. And the reason probably many of our viewers hope that day would come, because end of the day we are paying for this entire establishment. We are paying for the salaries of the staff, of the office. So it's people's property and we should have access to that. We should have the right representation. Thank you very much for making that promise. And I can tell you one thing, our promise will be we'll hold you accountable to that.
I hope you do.
Now, we're very close to the end of this conversation, because once again, I know that a lot of people are waiting for you to go and inspire them. My last question would be, there are 4 or 5 candidates so far. What makes you feel inside you that you are different? Why shouldn't I vote for the PC or the Liberals? Why should not we do that?
Well, I think we've already seen what the PCs can do and what the Liberals can do. I think we've given them a lot of opportunities, years after year, years after years. And what I would say is, don't just vote for me. Vote for the person you think best represents you. Vote for the best platforms. And I truly believe that we have the best platforms, and I am the best candidate in Scarborough Southwest, because I have lived the struggles, I have the experience to make change, and also to have the passion to actually make sure that we are bringing change to Scarborough Southwest. For a very long time, Scarborough Southwest has been left behind, and Scarborough in general has been left behind. And I think Queen's Park deserves better. There's a lot people can offer from here, but also Queen's Park can do a lot more for Scarborough, and I will make sure that we get that done.
Very well. Dolly, the next minute or so, or probably less than that, since you're pressed for time, I'll give it to you to talk to our viewers and give them a message. And I would really ask you to provide your contact information once again, because I know a lot of people, because of time constraints, probably you won't be able to go and talk to them before the election starts. So if you could just share your thoughts and share your contact information to our viewers.
Great. Viewers, thank you so much. You have nominated me to be the candidate in Scarborough Southwest, and I hope that you will count me, you will give me a chance to represent you in Queen's Park. I've worked hard as a community member, as a volunteer in Scarborough for the province, and this time I want to make sure that I'm your voice in Queen's Park. I will work hard and I will be dedicated. I will work relentlessly, and I won't let you down. You can reach me at, you can visit our website at dollybegum.ca. That's DOLYBEGUM.ca. You can also call me at 416-421-6066. Thank you very much.
Well, viewers, that's the conversation we had in mind, because of we have very little time. It's Saturday morning, and all the canvassers, all the poll casts are ready to go out. we couldn't manage any more time. But what I want to let you know that the reason why we're reaching out to politicians, irrespective of their party affiliation, is every riding has almost 40 to 50,000 doors, and we appreciate the fact that for one individual probably it's not possible to knock on every door. So these conversations, we try to understand how committed they are, how hardworking they are, and at the same time we try to provide you contact information. So feel free to reach out to them. Feel free to reach out to us with your questions, and we'll pass them to the politicians and the candidates as well. It has been a very good conversation, and we hope to meet some other contestants or some other candidates in near future. With Ashik Bhuiya behind the camera, speaking from Dolly Begum's camping office, this is Rizwan saying, take care. Goodbye.